Actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry sued for $260 million over sexual harassment allegations.
Hollywood just got rocked like never before. On June 13th, actor Derek Dixon dropped a nuclear bomb, filing a jaw-dropping $260 million lawsuit against Tyler Perry. According to Dixon, he's not just making claims, he's got receipts. We're talking screenshots, emails, and internal messages. And some of them are already leaking online. The internet is losing its mind, and insiders say the industry is in full panic mode. But here's where it gets even crazier. Sources reveal that BET has now quietly pulled the plug on all upcoming projects with Tyler Perry. Campaigns have been wiped, deals are frozen, and collaborations, dead in the water. And trust me, this is just the beginning.
The complaint filed in Los Angeles accuses Perry of creating a, quote, coercive, exploitative dynamic with actor Derek Dixon. Dixon was in two of Tyler Perry's shows, The Oval and Ruthless. In a statement to NBC News, Perry's team says this appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam, calling the allegations fabricated claims.
Sources close to the drama say Tyler Perry is absolutely furious, completely blindsided by what he sees as the ultimate betrayal. What's shaking him even more? The fact that Derek Dixon allegedly has a full-blown paper trail. We're talking receipts that could rattle the very foundation of a billion-dollar empire built on trust, empowerment, and a tight-knit inner circle. This isn't just some legal dispute, this is a full-on earthquake tearing through the heart of Tyler Perry's kingdom. Dixon didn't just file a lawsuit. He launched a legal missile, and he fired it straight into Tyler Perry's studios on June 13th. Right, in Los Angeles Superior Court.
Yeah, Tom, just going through those allegations in this lawsuit seeking $260 million in damages. The direct details include inappropriate touching.
The official complaint has already set Hollywood on fire, quickly becoming one of the most talked about legal bombshells in recent entertainment history. Dixon isn't playing small. His lawsuit demands a jaw-dropping $260 million in damages, a number so massive, it's got entertainment lawyers scrambling and studio execs holding emergency PR meetings behind closed doors. In the filing, Dixon accuses Perry of years of psychological manipulation, intense professional pressure, and a disturbing pattern of mistreatment, claiming it slowly broke down his mental health, dignity, and financial stability. This isn't just about money, it's about survival, power, and a man finally speaking out.
As you mentioned, Dixon starred in The Oval with Tyler Perry, and he released, we got this statement from inside the complaint. Tyler Perry has been using...
Go ahead.
This man named Derek Dixon he's an actor, and he was formerly in The Oval. He is not only just suing Tyler Perry, he's also suing Tyler Perry Studios. And Tyler Perry is denying this. His attorney has already made a statement calling this a scam.
His power and influence to molest, abuse, and sexually assault impressionable and vulnerable employees and actors who look to him for guidance and mentorship while pursuing their dreams.
Dixon claims the environment on Tyler Perry's sets was more than just demanding. It was downright toxic. According to the lawsuit, boundaries didn't exist, and power was left unchecked, creating a space where fear and control took over. He says the impact wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Dixon began suffering from emotional exhaustion, severe anxiety, and mental breakdowns, to the point where he had to seek professional help. This wasn't just a bad work experience. It was, as Dixon puts it, a slow collapse of his mind, his spirit, and his health.
Now, we do have a comment from Tyler Perry's attorneys saying that this individual appears to have been setting Tyler Perry up. They say that they are alleging that this is a scam and saying, quote, Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail.
Harassment cases, really the harassing behavior happens behind closed doors, and it's a he said, or he said, she said, or she said type situation. But text messages are fantastic, whether you're a prosecutor or a civil plaintiff's lawyer like I am. And looks like Dixon may have the receipts in this case.
Now, we've also reached out to the attorney for Dixon, and he said that these allegations in the lawsuit stand for themselves. So just the very beginning of this process, but a lot of people are paying attention to this. Tyler Perry, quite successful, quite a bit of fame here, Tom.
Dixon says things got so bad, he hit a breaking point. Continuing to work under Tyler Perry's production banner became impossible. He made a dramatic exit from two of Bet's biggest series, the Oval and Ruthless shows that had once skyrocketed his career. But leaving came at a steep price. According to Dixon, walking away cost him over $400,000 in lost income, scrapped opportunities, and broken industry ties. The damage wasn't just in the bank, it was in his soul. He says the emotional weight, combined with the financial loss, nearly broke him completely.
Yeah, lawyers can say all sorts of things. Really, ultimately, what matters is what they ask the jury for. So they can ask for less or more during closing arguments. So I usually put that aside. It gets a lot of good headlines, but I can't imagine this case being worth 9 figures.
Tyler Perry's legal team came out swinging immediately, slamming the lawsuit as ridiculous, slanderous, and straight up malicious. They called it nothing more than a desperate cash grab designed to chase headlines. But no matter how hard they pushed back, one thing couldn't be ignored. Dixon had the receipts, and they were coming in hot. The leaked screenshots? It's just the tip of the iceberg. When the full court documents hit the public eye, they didn't just raise eyebrows. They lit Hollywood on fire.
Harassment is wrong. No one should be subject to it. And sometimes you get these nuclear verdicts or runaway juries, but I can't imagine a case like this going for that amount, even though, like I said, I don't condone any of this behavior.
Here's something I want to say, right, about TP. Somebody told me about you guys know the movie Training Day? The gangster dude who runs like the jungles over there in the movie. Tyler Perry had a meeting with that dude, right? And Tyler wanted stuff to happen with them. And the dude was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So he never got the role.
Dixon's allegations weren't vague. They were painfully detailed, stretching over multiple years and unfolding on the sets of some of Tyler Perry's biggest TV blockbusters. At the heart of the lawsuit, the Oval and Ruthless, two of Bet's flagship series. Dixon claims that during his time on these productions, he faced repeated violations of professional boundaries that made him feel unsafe, both mentally and physically. According to him, the most disturbing moments didn't just happen on set. They occurred during late-night shoots, cast retreats, and even off-site industry events, where the lines between personal and professional behavior completely blurred. He describes feeling trapped, caught in an environment where speaking up felt like a career death sentence, but staying silent was destroying his health. Dixon says he tried to sound the alarm, sometimes subtly, sometimes directly, but every time his concerns were dismissed, ignored, or met with hostility.
Harassment. What I say is really the worst kind of harassment, which is the quid pro quo. That means, hey, if you perform solely, I will help your career. And if you don't, I'm going to retaliate.
Behind the scenes, Dixon says the unspoken rule was simple. Don't question the system. Don't disrupt the power structure. Keep quiet, fall in line, or lose everything. While others around him carried on like nothing was wrong, Dixon says, the psychological weight of what he endured began to crush him. He became physically ill, emotionally unstable, and completely disconnected from the creative passion that once fueled his career. But here's what makes this different. He documented everything. We're talking calendar entries, private messages, conversations, and detailed notes from the days when things allegedly escalated. This isn't just a he said case. This is a timeline backed by files, and the first leaks are already hitting the internet. Most lawsuits lean on verbal testimony, but Dixon came armed with cold digital proof, screenshots, internal communications, and direct messages. According to insiders, the material paints a chilling picture, a slow, calculated buildup of control, pressure, and manipulation. The documentation allegedly shows boundaries being crossed, power being abused, and a creative environment turning toxic. But it doesn't stop there. Dixon also submitted mental health records, therapy logs, evaluations from licensed professionals, and a detailed history of his treatment for anxiety, depression, and stress-related health issues. These aren't vague accusations, they're time-stamped, they're itemized, they're part of the official case file. And while the emotional toll was heavy, the financial blow was devastating. After leaving the Oval in Ruthless, Dixon claims he was completely iced out. No more calls, no meetings, no auditions. He says the message was loud and clear. Speak up and you're done. For a man who once saw Tyler Perry as a mentor, an industry ally, that realization, crushing. But Dixon made a choice. It wasn't going to stay silent. He was ready to risk everything to expose what he believes really happened. Dixon says what really happened went down inside the walls of one of Hollywood's most powerful creative machines. And while he was launching legal grenades, Tyler Perry was gearing up to strike back hard. The response came fast, and it was brutal. Just hours after the court documents hit the press, Perry's legal team unleashed a fiery statement calling the lawsuit baseless, fabricated, and slanderous. They accused Derek Dixon of orchestrating a media stunt designed to pressure Perry with public humiliation, not a legal claim, but a strategic attack. And behind the scenes, it wasn't just legal posturing, it was rage. Insiders say Perry wasn't frustrated, he wasn't disappointed, he was livid, according to sources close to him. Perry was blindsided by the lawsuit, especially because Dixon wasn't some distant critic. He was someone Perry had personally championed, someone he believed in when others didn't. To have that trust shattered, and in the most public, humiliating way possible, felt like betrayal at the deepest level. Those in Perry's inner circle described his reaction as volcanic. Meetings were canceled, calls went dead. One insider claims Perry immediately ordered a full internal audit, combing through every communication between Dixon and staff to see who knew this storm was coming. And what stung even more, Dixon wasn't an outsider. He was on the inside, a cast member, a familiar face in Perry's tightly controlled media empire. This wasn't a random attack from the internet. This was someone who had been behind the curtain and was now tearing the whole theater down. For a man who built his brand on loyalty, redemption, and narrative control, this hit different. Perry's empire wasn't just built on box office success, it was built on trust. But now, the cracks were starting to show. And the real damage wasn't just happening online, it was happening in boardrooms. Quietly, partnerships were unraveling. What started as a scandal had turned into a full-blown corporate crisis. According to industry insiders, bet moved quickly. Promotions for Tyler Perry's upcoming content were allegedly paused. Marketing campaigns were frozen. And talks about future projects went dead silent almost overnight. And while Bet has yet to release an official while Bet remained publicly silent, insiders say that silence spoke volumes. Behind the scenes, the network wasn't sitting still. Emergency meetings were reportedly held the very next morning after the lawsuit broke. Executives dug deep into contracts, reviewed upcoming release schedules, and analyzed risk exposure. According to one anonymous exec, the phrase used during a tense internal call was chilling. This is a brand risk moment. And for Tyler Perry, that cut deep. Because Bet hasn't just been a partner, it's been his home turf. His shows dominated their prime time. His studio became the backbone of their streaming library. He didn't just work with Bet, many say he carried it through a stretch of collapsing ratings and shifting audiences. But now, that same network is allegedly pulling away. Insiders say communication with Perry's team went cold. Meetings that once happened on autopilot suddenly needed revaluation, and appearances by Perry-linked talent quietly wiped from promotional calendars. To many in the industry, this isn't just Bet playing it safe, it's Bet preparing to cut ties. And for Perry, sources say he's not just angry, he's devastated. Not just by the lawsuit, but by what he sees as abandonment, a network he helped revive, now weighing him as a PR liability. An alliance he thought was unbreakable now feels like a fragile business deal. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, Hollywood whispers started to grow louder, because this might not be an isolated case. Insiders say at least 2 other individuals who worked on past Tyler Perry productions have already consulted with lawyers. No second lawsuit has been filed yet, but multiple attorneys close to the situation say it's no longer a matter of if, it's when, and that's not all. Rumors suggest cast and crew members are now revisiting their own stories, digging through old emails, messages, and call logs. Looking back and asking, was what I went through okay? Or was I silenced too? This isn't just one man's fight anymore. This could be the spark that lights the powder keg now, insiders say. The conversations are no longer private. Group chats are reportedly buzzing with cast and crew quietly discussing their options. Because this isn't just about one actor anymore. It's about a pattern. And in an industry known for shielding its biggest stars, even 2 or 3, more testimonies could be enough to blow the entire machine wide open. For years, Tyler Perry has been seen as untouchable, a self-made mogul, the man who broke the rules, built his own studio, and changed the game for Black creators everywhere. But now, someone from the inside has spoken, and he didn't whisper. He put everything out there. And suddenly, that air of invincibility starting to crack. Hollywood knows how fast the narrative can flip. For years, Perry wrote the scripts. He controlled the direction. He owned the stage. But this time, the story's being written without him. And the ending might be one he never saw coming. Few names in entertainment are as polished, powerful, or protected as Tyler Perry's. He's created hit films, built a production empire, and shaped primetime television on Black-owned networks. But this lawsuit is threatening more than just his reputation or his bank account. It's hitting the core of what made his brand so unshakable. Loyalty, respect, safety, trust. These weren't just marketing buzzwords. They were the foundation of his image. And now, that foundation is under the harshest spotlight of his career. Hollywood knows the truth. When the fall begins, it can be swift, messy, and irreversible. And for Perry, the clock may already be ticking. Tyler Perry's world has been rocked. Derek Dixon has filed a $260 million lawsuit, allegedly backed by years of documentation. Bet is reportedly pulling back. And the whispers of more voices stepping forward are getting louder by the hour. Perry says he's being unfairly targeted. Dixon says he's finally speaking his truth. And the rest of the industry? They're standing still, watching one of Hollywood's most powerful men navigate the most dangerous chapter of his public life. So now the question is, will Tyler Perry survive this, untouched? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a complete takedown?